All right, guys, going to give you an archery release aid review. This is the Trufire 4-finger Revolution. It's a few years old, 4 years old to be exact. It is indeed 4 fingers. You can see that. 2, 3, 4. So all your whole hand, you can get a good grip on it. And there's your thumb there. So I've used this release for about 4 years now, and I got to tell you, it is amazing. I've shot a few other releases, handheld releases, and index style wrist wrap releases, and this is by far my favorite. A lot to say here, but whatever material they used to make out of this, I believe it's steel, or maybe some kind of a durable aluminum. It is it's just proven very reliable and durable, very rugged, I should say too. I put this through a lot, and it has it's gone the distance. A few months back, I was using the Spot Hog Wise Guy wrist strap release from Cam Haynes there and Spot Hog, and that was a great release, but it didn't have the durability that I was looking for, and it fell apart. But this has really had no issues as far as durability is concerned. So on to some features. So obviously we got 4 fingers here. I think they did sell a 3-finger, but this is the 4-finger. I like how when you're grabbing it, the 4th finger loop kind of wraps around your pinky there. I think that's a good design. Give you that extra leverage if you need to pull through kind of at an angle. You're tired, you're pulling heavy poundage, you need that extra leverage. You can kind of, pull back, and gives you a little more leverage. If you wanted, you could tuck that pinky though and just do 3 fingers. I don't think there's an issue with that with 4-finger release. The angle is really quite comfortable. It's not like an even, like sometimes you'll see the 4 fingers, they're kind of even. This kind of has a swept design, and it really, when you're holding your bow, you can really get that that anchor point well with that swept design. It's very comfortable. So I like that. I like how the loops for your fingers aren't too high. Some of them I've seen are quite high, and I feel like that would get in the way of, I don't know, it just makes it less maneuverable with your hand. The one thing that I don't like, if I could be critical, is I don't like how the trigger mechanism is kind of exposed down here. I'd rather that be covered up with the aluminum, like I've seen others, like the Spot Hog Whippersnapper does a good job of that. But it's a minor issue, it's not a big deal. So obviously it is a hook design, and nice thing about the hook is it's very hooked, if you will. A lot of hooks like the Scott or the the Stan Index, it like almost just goes straight out, and I feel like that would, if you're pulling back, you could, if you're not careful, that string might just come right out of there. Doesn't lock it in tight with that swept hook design. Also, if you can see, this is removable here. There's a little Allen screw. You can remove this bracket, but that is to hook it to your D-loop, and it'll stay. So, see that little bracket there, that little metal bar there. You just hook it to the D-loop, and that's actually going to be hard to you know, knock off, honestly. Stays on there pretty good. So, I mean, so if it falls that way, I mean, it takes a little bit to try and work it out. So, gotta like that. Other thing I like about it is I like a long neck. It's got a really long neck. It's probably about, from the bottom of the loop here, it's about 2 inches or so, which is great for increasing draw length. Give yourself a little more oomph behind the shot. If the release is really choked up, it's just going to be a normal draw length. So if you want to increase your draw length for whatever reason, to get a little more speed out of your bow, a longer neck will do the brew. So that would be like normal. And then having a little bit longer neck will allow you to increase that anchor point that you pull the bow back, increases your draw length. So that's another reason I like handhelds in general more than index releases, because with an index, you're kind of tied in. You know, they usually wrap around your wrists and your index fingers out on the trigger. They're kind of locked in behind your jaw, and you can't really increase that string length. You're kind of locked in, which is fine, but you're just not going to get that variability if you want it. And I also don't like the position that it locks your head in real tight, whereas a handheld, especially one with a long neck, you can really you know, move your head a lot easier to really find that anchor point. It's just more comfortable. It's a little more natural in my opinion. So you have some holes right here, 1, 2. You can take Allen screws, and it comes with the Allen screws, or the Allen, you know, small Allen wrench for those different size holes. But basically, you can increase the tension of that hook. I have it really cold right now because I like a nice cold pull. I don't like the hot. I want to be able to ride that thumb on there, pull slowly. It's pretty hot, or it's pretty cold right now, and then it breaks. So you could adjust that and make it real hot, so you're barely pushing on it and release. It's a pretty hefty release. Let's wear it up, see what she's coming in at. Yeah, 1,778 grains. It's a little over a quarter pound. So, see what else is nice. Oh, obviously, what's really cool about this release is when you're pulling back on your shot, you're anchored in, right? You can really get a good strong pull out of this. I used to think it was easier to pull back with an index style release, but especially if the neck is quite long, which you need if you want to increase your draw length, it's a lot harder to, I feel like it puts more stress on your shoulders to pull back, whereas something right in your hand, you can really grip that well. Feel like you get a little more leverage, especially if you're trying to increase your draw length. So when you pull back, what's nice about this release is when you pull back, watch the head. The head can rotate here. Look at how the head is See, the head is virtually staying the same, yet the back part of this release is totally rotating around. You can even see it more there. It's incredible. So you can see that. It swivels. What that does is it allows you to not torque your D-loop, which could torque your string and just release that arrow more inconsistently than if it was immovable. So I like the swivel, because when you're pulling back, especially heavy poundage, you're tired, you're not going to be able to have the same perfect form every time. You might be down here, or sometimes you pull back and it's here, or like this, and that all is going to put that pressure on your D-loop, and it's going to torque unless this head can swivel with that motion. So I think that's a pretty ingenious little trick there. I know there's got to be other releases that have a swivel head as well, but this is the only one I've seen for a while, or noticed at least. Moving on to the button here. It's got a real nice knurled grip. It's not the biggest barrel. Obviously you can get bigger barrels, but I like a smaller one. I feel like it fits in the thumb, gives you a little bit more maneuverability with that on a shot. I don't know, I like it. It's done well for me. You can, this is cool, these two screws come out. One, two, those two screws can come out, and this back plate here, this little strip, can detach, which I've done on my other one. So that plate can be unscrewed and detached, and you could take the barrel and put it back on the adjustable portion here, which I've done with my other same release, but looks different. See, I took off that latch, or that lever arm, and made it shorter, much shorter compared to the original. See how it sticks out, and now it's right at the knuckle. So that is pretty cool. You can see one with the lever arm is a little bit higher, and the one without it's a little bit lower. So if you want it, you don't like it hanging out as far, you can totally adjust that down. And now it's like really, I mean, that's, give an example. I mean, that's really, I mean, nice and compact there. You can also adjust it though. This is up real high. You can adjust it back further and it still be longer just by unscrewing both of these and moving it to any one of those holes there and screwing it back in. So there's room for a lot of adjustability with that thumb bar. I like a short lever arm though. I'm not too, for me at least, it doesn't, I mean, it's easier to, I guess, to pull on it because it's got that longer arm. But I don't like how it sticks out so far, where the smaller attachment is just, it's so compact. I don't know. I guess it just depends on what's more comfortable for you. So I'm glad I bought two of these when I did, because I haven't been able to find this same model since then. They still make, Trufire still makes a 4-finger handheld, but I don't think it's a hook. And it's just a little bit different looking. So I think it's a caliper style. Last thing is they do have a wrist string. It attaches via one of these balls in here. You just put it in that little socket. with this in there like such, and you screw it in, and you can have that if you want it attached on your hand. And I'm just not a big I don't like this string. I mean, if you're going to attach it to your hand, just get an actual wrist strap with a buckle. I think that'd be better. But if you do have it, you can obviously, you know, make it real tight. You could cinch it up. Yeah, I've seen, you know, James Visser from Boat Disciples. He always has a his string cinched up on his handheld release, so you know it's real tight on there, and he holds it, you know, like on the back of his hand like that. I mean, that works for him. You can do that, but I don't know. I don't like the string. It kind of gets in the way. Me personally, I'd rather have it in my bino harness. This is the Badlands bino, but you could just take the back end, just slip it in there and tuck it in nice and tight. Works pretty good. The bigger the release with the arm lever, it fits a little bit better. Or you can reverse this thumb barrel on the other side. I don't like doing it. I like the longer part to be right in line with the thumb right there, because I feel like a little more comfortable at full draw than if it's facing in the opposite direction. But if it is on the opposite direction, you can totally like magnetize your release onto the bino harness, because these bino harnesses are magnetic. You have to really pry that off. So you could totally tuck it in there and just magnetize it, you know, keep it ready for action. So that's an option, but you'd have to deal with that thumb barrel on the other, facing the other direction. So all right, well, let's take it to the field and run some shots through it. All right, we're gonna run through some shots here. Can kind of show you the way this release breaks, how comfortable it is, from my opinion. Just a really good release. I think it retailed for $150, so it's a little more pricey, not too bad. Nothing compared to some of those top brand releases like UltraView and Dowd's releases. So let's do some shots. This is with the shortened barrel, without the lever arm. Kind of see that, nice and comfortable. I mean, that long neck gives you a lot of maneuverability. It's not super tight, and it's easy to, with the handheld, to pull your head back and move it back and forth, find that anchor. Just pull through the shot with that real grip. Makes it easy. The handheld too, you can really grip that release, get a lot of leverage, especially the four-fingered. Do one more with the shortened barrel, or the shortened lever, without the lever arm, and then I'll get the one with the lever arm out. You can see the difference. Look at that. I mean, you can spin that. It's so easy. Just pull that clip up a little bit. I mean, that thing doesn't want to come off. And they're pretty good, so it's not like a closed jaw release, but It's the next best, or a caliper release, but it's the next best. It's the next best thing in my opinion. All right, go get those arrows and do the other one. See that? Compared to, again, no lever arm. Just doing the long lever arm. It's just so smooth. Really liking the handhelds. I do feel like with the longer lever arm, it is a little easier to be able to pull it slower, or be able to stop midway through the pull to perform one of those Shot IQ shots from Joel Turner's training sessions. Will probably be a little bit easier in my opinion, but you can still get good with the button without the lever arm. All right, last one, here we go. All right, guys. So tell me what you think about that Trufire 4-finger Revolution. To me, it's I have no desire to change releases, get a new release. That's going to do the job, I think. Not going to be buying a new release until it either breaks or I lose it, or lose them. I have two, so it's probably a good thing, because if it doesn't strap around your wrist, you're going to want two, I would assume. Anyways, leave me a comment, tell me what your favorite release is, and catch you on the next one.